motivate, inspire, educate. Welcome to Ultra Everything.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ultra Everything. Today I got a special treat. Today I've got the man, the myth. He actually helped me get through one of the toughest moments in the Moab 240. He has no idea how much that he inspired me to keep moving, to keep going at one of the lowest points. And I'm just so excited to have him on the show today. And I want to hear his story, his journey leading up to the Moab 240. So help me welcome Trevon Hauth.
Nice. I'm so happy to be here, my friends. So happy to be here.
Hey man, so it has been what, a few months now?
Yes, it's been a few months now, which is crazy.
It's like a distant memory. Like the pain and suffering is like, it's kind of subsided. Like there's still a couple pains, but the memory is right there. So, dude, and it's super cool to have you here. So who are you?
Man, what a lob of a question.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Who makes up this crazy person that has a normal existence, right? Like we all have this normal, mild-mannered job and family and all this other stuff. And then who is the person that signs up for a 240-mile run in the desert in Moab, Utah?
Yeah, I guess I fit into that niche, which is fun to find like-minded people like yourself and to be able to feel less crazy in these pursuits and what that looks like. But I think a lot of this just got started. It was funny. I was listening to one of the earlier podcasts, and I think we had a similar thing where I was just not doing too hot physically and had some young kids and not a lot of money, and was like, hey, how can I do something that requires hilariously at the time I thought less money than a gym, and that I could do in my own time. And so just started picking it up with no rhyme or reason or even a goal in mind. And that was 10 years ago, and kind of struggled through some things with weight and all sorts of stuff. I even went through the 5-finger shoes, if you remember those, to try to correct my form.
Okay.
And then someone was like, hey, they've got these long distances. And I was like, okay, cool. What does that look like? So just kind of stumbled my way into it. And that's kind of what I do on the spare time. And otherwise, just a classic, I've got my day job and a side hustle and a equivalent of a day job with ultra running. It
Nice.
feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
So
It is. It's a full-time. When you're going for a race, it's a full-time job for sure. It's
especially with these big ones. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So you've done a couple of races.
Yeah, I've done a handful more lately in the last couple years. Definitely picked it back up more. I think like a lot of people with COVID, and running was a lifesaver, literally, to get back out and to have some time with people and things like that. But did my first ultra in 2013, which was a 50K, and on a finished dead fucking last on that one too. Hilariously, I actually went back.
We have a theme going on here.
Yeah,
that's good.
So I've got bookends now. My first and my
and
last
the most
ultra
recent.
and the most recent were dead last, which was hilarious to go back and look at that. And then didn't really do a ton of races in between, like 2013 and probably 2022 is when I got back into it. So I did the Keys 100 was the last kind of big one that I did.
Okay, yeah.
And so that one was great. So 100 miles across the Keys, Key Largo to Key West, and did that with a buddy that I work with, and just kind of stumbled into it. It was a bucket list item for him. And I said, hey, if all you need is someone crazy enough to sign up with you to go achieve a bucket list item, I'm in. And then he signed up the next day, and I was like, crap, I gotta do this. So I went from like CrossFit to ultra running basically overnight. It was kind of the story in 2022. So
that sounds like my typical response to my buddies, like when we're gonna go do some like training run or whatever. It's like, hey Tom, this is a text, like, hey Tom, we're gonna go run 20 miles tomorrow. Are you in? Sure.
yeah.
It's like the no, I don't really want to, but yes, of course I'll be there.
Yeah.
nothing would make me more happy to participate. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the DFL, dude, because I honestly had never heard that until I just saw that now when you went through, and I was so excited to see and hear that you had gone through, because man, like we'll get into it, but the DFL, that's an honor actually. It's like coming in because you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a struggle, I'm sure, huh?
Yeah. It was cool. It was so interesting on so many facets because I'm not one who normally likes to be celebrated. Like I'm proud of my accomplishments and things like that, and like to keep those, in the appropriate container, if you will. And so I actually felt really weird about having, there was like 100 people still around. And when you look at the funny thing about this sport is I was more celebrated. Like there was more people than the first place winner, right? So
Right? Yeah,
anybody who podiumed did not get what I got as far as like a welcome and a finish line, which is crazy
yeah.
to think about. But I love it about that sport. And so to get that was great, but honestly, the feeling of accomplishment was way more. And I just snuck right in there. So 6 minutes to spare from the cutoff time, which is probably
Oh.
the closest that they've ever had.
How much pressure did you feel going into that? Obviously, you knew where you were at time-wise, so you were just like, shit.
Yeah,
I know how I felt. It's like, oh my God.
I felt a little pressure release on that, honestly, after I got past the Porcupine Rim aid station, because I knew no matter what, I was gonna go 240 miles, whether it was in the time or not.
Sure, of course.
Mattered less to me then because there wasn't, as you know, in between all these aid stations, there's not really an opt out. And so other than a couple miles at the end, maybe if I was really hurting for some reason, I could have opted out, but I actually felt this great sense of relief making it to Porcupine Rim with plenty of time and then to be able to push through. And so that was kind of a pressure release. So I actually felt more pressure time wise the previous two aid stations. And we'll get into this, but like when we ran into each other, we weren't on pace to make
Oh, not at
the
all.
next aid station by like not a small margin. Like if we would have stayed at whatever pace you guys were doing, and when I would come up against you, we weren't moving fast at all. And so I think we went from not making it to I made it with 90 minutes to spare, and you came in with more, I believe, which is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like it was so funny because Yasmin was just asking. She's like, so really, you wouldn't have finished if it? I was like, I would not have finished this race if it wasn't for us crossing paths, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I firmly believe that 100% of my soul. Like there was no way. Like it was. We were both in a really bad way. Like. Like if you took pictures, like a video of us walking up and like meeting each other for the first time, it was like two gimpy guys like walking up like, oh,
Yeah.
Our pacers look great, and then we're like, oh, just horrible. Like both your feet were just effed up, dude.
So bad. So
And-
bad.
And mine was, I had one really bad foot. My left leg was just really horrible. And then I was I was putting more on my right. And then at that time, just 5 minutes before I ran into you, it's like everything tightened up in my quads. I couldn't even walk. And at that point now I'm like, I can't walk with the left and I can't move with the right. And it's just like, ah! Like I'm not finishing this thing. It's like, holy crap. And then like by a miracle, I gotta say it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Like you come out of like nowhere with the one tool that I needed to fix my quad, and like I had never seen anybody carrying anything. So tell everybody what you were carrying when we first met each other.
Yeah, hilarious. And I won't take all the credit other than having the forethought that I might be in a similar situation, Tom. And so it was actually my pacer, Will, who was carrying the runner stick. So for those who might not be into mobility or anything like that, it's a really simple tool. It looks like a piece of PVC pipe that's got some rollers on it. And so it's kind of like flossing for your muscles. So if you need blood flow or something like that to work out something that's tight, it is a gift of a tool. And so I knew that I was kind of in a similar spot, and the body is amazing, and it automatically adjusts just like you were talking about. If you're feeling pain on one foot, it can allocate resources to adjust in the moment often, which is insane.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was like, Will, I don't know why, but I just got a feeling we're getting close to 200 miles. Let's just have this with us. And that was literally the forethought that was the first aid station, like his leg that we had. So whatever we could with the pacer
Yeah,
that
that
we
was
started.
at 46.
Yeah, Road 46.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And so that was it. And then it was funny because especially at this point in the race, and I love the community and ultra running in general. And this one was so cool because you're pushing so much further than most people ever had. And so you check on people, right? Like it's like, hey, I saw you sitting, and it's like, hey, what's going on? Like
Yeah.
how are we doing? And yeah, it was hilarious because you check on people more because just like you said, I wasn't in good shape, but neither were you. And so it's like, hey, buddy, like we good? And so even with pacers,
Hey, buddy,
you check on.
you look
Yeah,
really horrible. How you doing, buddy? I feel like shit. That's how I feel.
yeah, yeah, and likewise.
And then we did some trading. We're like, hey, I got this, and you got this. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. So it was really funny because I think it was Whole Canyon lost my drop bag. So I didn't have the stuff that I thought I was
yeah,
going to. So that's actually why I didn't have any Advil with me. Um, and so that was the trade that we did. Some Advil from your pacer.
yeah. Dude, I had Advil.
Yeah, and the runner stick. And so what a beautiful, blissful moment to where it was just what we both needed.
That
And it
wasn't
was
just
awesome.
it wasn't just there. So the turning point, that was what I needed to kind of be able to like free up my muscles to keep going. Spirits were still low at that point. Like, okay,
Yeah.
we've got this. And it's like, holy shit. And I remember just one of the signs, it was called Hell Canyon. Hell Canyon. Did you see the sign that said Hell Canyon in there?
I didn't. I was
Yeah.
probably hallucinating.
Oh my God. So we were in Hell Canyon, and we were literally in Hell Canyon.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I heard you and your pacer. Your pacer's name is Will?
Yeah, Will.
Dude, I just heard him calling out, like, you guys are, it literally sounded like we were going to be trampled by something. Like, you guys were coming, and you were moving pretty good through the brush. And I was like, oh. And then you guys kind of come by us, and then that split-second decision in my brain was like, let's go. Like, I got to keep up with these guys. And like that, starting to pick up that pace, just kind of like flipped the switch for me. And that's all I needed was to be inspired. And then we ultimately ended up passing you because you started having some like chest pains or something.
Yeah, I was freaked out. So I was already like one of the medics got in my head around Advil and like not taking Advil and it can lead to rhabdo. And so I was
That's what they
and
were
I was
all saying.
already
I was like, yeah, fine.
I was totally in my head, and then I think it was just from my pack for that long, and so it ended up being like a diaphragm like muscle.
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit lower, but it was on the left side, and you're close to 200 miles in, and so sleep deprived that I was just like, man, like, am I okay? So that was like what Will and I were talking about.
Well, I caught up with Will and I was like, hey, your guy's like, he's not doing well. Like because he was moving. Like he wasn't
yeah.
looking back. He's like, you stay with me. And
Yeah, Will.
what a great
Will was
pacer.
fantastic. Yeah, and it was hilarious because he was the only pacer that was doing that for me, and so he was absolutely wanting to push, wanting to be out in front, and it was great because when like before we picked up the pace, he was like, "Hey man, you have the time to do one thing that you want to do. You can either fix your feet or you can sleep, but we don't have time to do both because we're not going to make it."
Yeah.
And then right after we fixed my feet, we were cruising, and I don't know, I haven't gone back and looked. You might know off the top of your head what the pacing looked like for that. Gosh, it was probably close to 10 miles or so where we were
Yeah.
moving pretty good. Like it was,
We still had a ways to go, and it wasn't looking good for us.
yeah,
Not by any means. I actually, my Garmin died at, I forget where, probably at Indian Creek maybe. Excuse me, Indian Creek. My Garmin died, so I had no idea what my pace was or anything. Excuse me. All right, sorry about that.
All good. No, all good.
You got me
It's funny,
choked up.
mine. I did. I had mine die. I think I recharged at Road 46, and so I might have some of those pacing things, but I feel like I was moving maybe 2 miles an hour, and then I feel like we were under 20-minute miles easily for a good chunk of that. Where that was my favorite, one of my favorite segments. Man, it was. I felt good finally to be able to move that well. I love that we picked you up for miles of that, and for being at that part in the race. One of my biggest takeaways was the well is so much deeper than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
And so to tap into it, even for that segment at that mileage, is one of those things where, first of all, I'll never forget it because it was so cool. And it's also a little scary, like being on the other side of it of, man, am I living up to the potential of what I can do? And not just physically, but we are capable of so much more than I
100%.
could have ever imagined going into it. And I felt good going in. And it was so cool to have that push and to have the result of being up against time and then pushing way past like what that looked like. So cool.
It
So cool.
was insane. And it was so funny because where we were at, like, of course, I had no idea how long it was going to take us to get where we were at because I had no concept of any of this stuff. And I felt like we were getting closer. And I just remember telling Arturo, because this is after we kind of picked up our pace and we're going now. And now I'm like picking people off. Like I'm seeing people and I'm like, let's pick them off. Let's pick them off. And it was just kind of like gaining more energy by picking people off, right? And so I just kept going. And I remember one guy that was up front, and we were going through that last section where it's all that bush. Like, you're just like, this is never going to end.
Yeah.
And he was ahead of us, and he saw us coming, and he started picking up his pace. And I was like, we got to catch him. Like, I'm not going to let him, like he was doing good. So it wasn't like anything bad, but I was like super competitive. I was like, I need to take his energy away from him right now because I need this in order to get to the next point. And, He ended up. I think he ended up making it. I don't even know. He was an older guy, but I remember just like I told Arturo one second. I was like, we just went through Hell Canyon, and we're never going to get to this aid station. Is it possible that we died and this is hell? That we just are just going to forever be in this ultra loop that we're never going to get to our destination? Right. And I was just like, oh my God! It's like, how do we get there? Oh, it was so awful to that point, but. At the same time, so amazing. So you got to Geyser? Did you take a nap at Geyser or did you not have time?
No, I didn't have time. So use that as pretty much a refresh, refuel type of deal. So was able to do a quick wardrobe change, a little bit of more feet maintenance, and then that was probably the last time that I ate well. My mouth was all dry. I wasn't
sores. Did you get all the sores and blisters?
I did. Yeah.
Oh God, that hurt.
That was something that was totally unexpected. And
what was that from?
I think it was from all the dry that we had in the desert. And so like all of that. And for me, I was also having bloody noses starting day one. And so I was just breathing out of my mouth. And so I think it was just all the dry that for when you're exerting and breathing a lot. And when I did so much nasal breathing as part of my training, that my body was probably just like, what are you doing? Like, this is not how we do this. And just revolted. So chewing, like anything was a chore. Like there was only a couple things, even with the stuff that I brought, that was going down well. And I was having to take sips of water to chew.
Water burned,
with it.
like water would burn your mouth.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was
awful.
Yeah, like that's something that like we haven't even touched on. Like, not to mention like all the pain, like sleep deprivation, like blisters, like you have no idea, chafing, bloody noses, and
Yep.
like the mouth pain, like just drinking water was just painful. Like that, like it's kind of coming back now. I'm like, why do we do this stuff? And we're like, hey, it'd be so much fun. You want to do it with us?
Right. Exactly
You're like,
right.
are you crazy? Oh my
Yeah.
God! All right, so you got to Geyser. Did you?
Yep.
I thought I had pizza when I got to Geyser. I was super happy with pizza. Did you have?
I think there was some pizza there. I honestly, man, everything was such a fever dream, and I was just feeling so good from making it
Just getting
there.
there?
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so it was. I don't know that I could tell you what I ate the rest of the race, to be perfectly honest. I just know that there was my crew did a great job of bringing me some food, and we kind of reset in the truck there, and so I couldn't even tell you what it was. It didn't stand out, so it must have been okay. It didn't
I
revolt.
took a 20-minute nap there, so I got in with
Okay.
enough time. My wife's like, "How long do you want to sleep?" I said 20 minutes. She woke me up at 21, so I got 21 minutes, and like I was out like in seconds, like for sure.
Hmm.
I didn't change. I didn't take off the shoes anymore. So the last time I took off the shoes and had any kind of feet maintenance was up at Pole
Okay.
that night, whatever time we were there, and I was like, it doesn't do me any good. Like there's not going to be any improvement. So I tightened up the shoes, and I'm like, I'm not looking again until I get to the end. And I was like, I don't know what kind of bloody mess I'm going to experience, or if I'm going to have to get my feet amputated when I'm done. Like I was like the same shit that goes through your head, like with the Advil. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to get gangrene and my feet are going to fall off, but I'm going to finish this damn race.
Right.
So yeah, it was crazy, but I took off from there. I took the nap in the back of my wife's car,
Okay.
shoes on, everything on, used the diaper rash cream to make sure that I thank God for horrible rash,
Mm.
because that actually took the pain off of my foot. Like I didn't think about my
Okay.
foot as much as my your undercarriage, because that hurt so bad too.
Yeah. Isn't
So it
that
was like
crazy how
you just like
you
write
like
it off.
cycle? Yeah, like
Yeah.
you experience something like you've never experienced before, and you're like, this is the worst
Oh,
that I've ever experienced. And then something else pops up,
you're
and
like, oh
you
no, that's
forget
worse.
about the exactly.
You're like, this is awesome. I love this. This is gonna be.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
asked you want to do it again, and I was like, for a couple of days, I'm like, we'll get figured out, and then I'm like, yeah, I want to totally do it again. I have no idea
yeah.
why,
Right. Yeah.
because it's
Okay,
challenging.
so exactly. So a little bit of maintenance, it sounds like good. That's a good nap. Like at that stage for where we were at, like time
Oh,
wise, like
100%.
that's huge. That's not an insignificant amount of time. That's awesome.
So that climb out of Geyser, going up that road, thank God it was a road, and it was easy, but it was
Yeah.
just a grind. You're like, are we ever going to get started on this thing again? And you're like, well, we did start because we left, so we're already started. So we just have to keep going now, and like be thankful that it's a road versus like what it
Yeah.
will turn into eventually again. But
That was one of the things that I was a little surprised by was I couldn't get my either my cadence or my breathing right for the single track climbs, and some of those were ridiculous.
yeah,
I mean, some of those climbs were just, you talk about the never-ending Hell's Canyon. There were some of the climbs right before we met that were just like ridiculous, just
oh,
and in the dark.
right out of
So great.
pole where we
Yeah.
did that initial turnoff to go up, and it's just
Yeah.
up, 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 and it wasn't like any reprieve at all. It was just like you
Yeah.
kind of lean on the hill to not fall down, and you just take a little bit of a break, and you're like, well, I guess we just keep going.
Yeah, yeah, and in a skinny trail, right? Like some of the skinniest trails that I had ever been on, and just wild. But I remember being so thankful for that road coming out of Geyser as well, because on the road I could just get into that gear, and it's consistent because it's a road and it's all right. And so
Yeah.
I was happy that the getting back, like moving again because of that road wasn't as bad as some of the other ones for me, at least, because I was able to find kind of a good cadence and it wasn't easy. Like it wasn't pretty either, but I think that was a gift that I didn't know that I needed. which
Yeah.
sounds crazy to climb, but
Yeah.
it was nice. Yeah.
No, it gave you the ability to kind of stretch out your legs and kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it actually was. It wasn't. It was. You know, it was 3 miles of therapy to get to the point where you needed it, I guess.
Right.
But you know, I thank God every day. Like I had the right pacers at the right times. My daughter was amazing. She would cheer me on. She's like, come on, dad, and like always pushing.
Yeah.
But when I got into, and Arturo and I left 46, and I had Arturo through 46 to Pole to Geyser, like I couldn't have asked for a better person. Like it was amazing. Like I know he was in pain just like everybody else. Like he didn't have poles. You know what he used for trekking poles? Did you see what he had for trekking poles? 2 logs. Like I'm not even saying, they weren't even sticks. Like they were full on like logs he has. And I think do you still have them? Did you bring them home with you? Dude, like
They were crazy.
Like I was like, I have nothing to complain about because he's not complaining at all, and he's like climbing the mountain with basically logs. Like I'm like, who are you, dude? Like he was like total beast mode. I was like, holy shit! Like I felt bad. I was like, I didn't even tell him he needed like trekking poles. Like he came so unprepared for this. Like he's never like up until like the time I invited him, which was like a week and a half before I asked him to be my pacer. Like he had never been on a trail. He had run like 3 to 4 miles. You know, consistent. What was the farthest you had ran up in that point?
Around 13 miles.
Okay, so he'd gone 13 miles on the road, never on a trail, and never like any of this stuff. Like never didn't have trail shoes. Like there was a lot of firsts here, and then he goes out with he finds these sticks, and it's like he's like, all right, I got my trekking poles. I'm like, holy cow, dude.
Yeah, it did make him look like beast mode. I was like, honestly, I think he could have carried you out. Like just stumbling upon that was amazing. And he could move with those logs. But it's funny because I remember thinking the same thing. I was like, that's not a hiking stick. Like he was.
It was a stick. It was a stick to keep him level from falling over, but they were literally logs. Like I was like I kind of want you to carry me out, but I think I'll get disqualified if you actually carry me.
Right.
But talk about a beast, but like never once complained, never once ever said anything about any pain he was in. It was always like, come on, Tom, come on, keep moving. Let's keep moving, Tom.
Yeah.
Come on, Tom. And it's like, we're almost there. Don't worry. Keep pushing. Come on. And it was amazing. Like it was absolutely amazing. I'm in total awe of his determination because he didn't prepare for this. Like we had been training for this stuff. We knew, and yeah, we were at mile 200 or whatever it was, but dude, like he went 40, how many miles total did you go with me? 47 miles.
Yeah.
Over the course of basically 2 days, no sleep. You know, same shit. Like, but didn't really sign up for it. Like I was like, he came as a friend, and it was like the most amazing thing. And it's like your pacer the same way, man. It's just like they got us to the finish line. Like it was never all about us. It's a team effort. It's a group. It's the messages. It was people cheering us on. The pressures you have at home with your kids, like knowing that you can do it. You know, my kids were there. Like I'd get messages. They're like, "Dad, you can do it." And like, even though you want to quit, like you can't quit. You can't quit because they don't want you to quit.
Yeah, and that's kudos to you because I thought about my girlfriend and my kids as well, and I don't know that I could have put them through them seeing me at that, like literally the worst. And it's hilarious because here we are and we're having a great time, and we met each other at one of the like worst points ever, especially physically. But you know, like I could imagine a kid, and they wouldn't do this, right? But it's like these stories that you tell yourself of, if my kid was like, "Dad, you don't have to be in pain anymore," or like not being that clear. Ooh, like that scared me. But that was a lot of even with that, I don't think I would have been able to push through without a deeper connection to like why I was doing this and things like that. And so those extra encouragements were awesome, but I know that there's a deeper Thomas why that got you through those things. Like those are nice to hear, especially when you're not thinking clearly for sure. Like I will always be grateful for my pacers for sticking to hey, we're we're doing this and we know why we're doing this. So like we got to pick it up
Yeah.
for this, and keeping me on that to where, because I wasn't thinking clearly probably the last 70 miles.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, easy.
How much sleep do you think you got for the entire race?
My my main pacer, Tony, who is like the crew guy, and he loves numbers. He's going to give me a hard time when he listens to this. He's like, "Man, you brought up numbers again with me." I was like, "Yeah, dude, you made spreadsheets and stuff." Um, and so,
Yeah, exactly. We don't even get to go there yet.
yeah, I think I had just under 4.5 hours sleep total.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm right
and
there with you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, which is insane. Like, it doesn't make sense that we were able to move at all once you calculate that up. It's
Not even close, dude. Like I say that I had under 5 hours. That's where I've kind of stuck to. I don't really know the exact time because I can't go back, but like it was literally 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there. I had a little bit of extra time at Porcupine. I had probably 45 minutes or something over there just before I had, because I was like, I need to. And thank God I did, because I was in a bad way by the time I was going through Porcupine. Like the hallucinations were insane.
yeah,
Insane. I was just like, I was upset with how much trash was all over that mesa. Like,
yeah,
did you see trash?
yeah, I did. And I think that's what started my hallucinations, because I saw some things and I was like, oh, that doesn't belong here. Like, people who enjoy the outdoors are better than this, so it can't be, right? Like,
Right. Like I
and
had to
then
stop and like tap it, and I was like, that's a rock, and why is this rock painted like a crushed up milk carton?
okay, you're making me feel way better actually, because the painted nature of those rocks, which is common, right? Like people call them painted rocks all the
Yeah.
time. Um, the milk carton thing is actually really funny. So I was seeing, if you go to like New York or LA, they have those posters for the next movie or the album or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah.
that are like
Uh-huh.
whitewashed onto
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
construction things.
Yeah.
That's what I was seeing, like just on
Yeah.
repeat. And it wasn't, I couldn't make out like what it was, but that's what I felt like I was running on, was just like someone put those on the rocks
I saw
for
something similar to
forever.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
And
that's so
and it's
funny.
so repetitive too, that was the time that I actually talked to Tony and said, "Dude, are you taking me in circles? Because this feels like we're doing the same kind of thing. Like we would climb a little bit, we would need to find like the next thing, and then we would drop and we would go around this corner, and then we would do kind of that same thing. And by that point, my neck like wasn't moving at all. And so I was stuck like this,
Oh shit.
and I was shoving gloves underneath my chin to try to get a little bit of range of motion. And so I was just, all I could see was my headlamp on his shoes, and that's how I was staying on course and on pace. And so the trust that I had in him, it was just awesome, and so grateful for him. And it was just insane because I was just like so out of it. And I knew that it wasn't the case, but I did have to stop and ask. I was like, are we going in circles? Like, are you taking me in circles? Because I was just so
It,
micro
it,
focused on
it,
his shoes.
I think it felt like that for sure, because I felt the same way, and like it never ended. Like that coming off of that mesa, it was
So
horrible.
bad.
Like it was it was almost like being in Hell Canyon again. It's like it never
Yeah.
finished. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God.
And I know because I went through it, like why no one talks about that a ton. But even with like the videos that I watched before and a lot of the visualization and things like that, and I got to meet one of the guys that I watched his videos all the time, Wes Plate. Awesome. If anybody's prepping for this, go watch his videos. But no one records the last 40 miles because you're just dead.
Yeah.
And so until the last half mile or so before the finish line is where you start to pick it back up again. But I was like, where was this, friends? Like, who was going to tell me that this was the worst? And not just because of your physical body, but it was like almost no fun. Like it was so long and so unending. It was crazy.
And granted, some people finish it, obviously experience that through the day versus like we went
Yeah.
we went through the nighttime. But yeah, that was rough, man. And by that time, everything was in pain. So all the up and downs, all the like the landing, the feet were it was just painful. And it was like we just got to get there. We just got to get there. We just got to get there. It's like Yeah, it's crazy, man. So when we left Geyser. I felt pretty good, and I was positive, and I had just gotten through that really horrific patch, and Arturo got me there, and my family was there. I was super excited to see them. Got to eat, hydrated really well. So we take off on that one, and I run into a couple other. So Tristan, this was his first. No, this was his second. Maybe it was his second attempt. Anyway, long story short, he a cool dude, young guy, 26 years old. He ended up finishing, but we're going up there, and we're trekking along, and I get to the top, and I just like made this decision. I was like, we got to go. Like, I'm not building relationships with anyone. I'm not talking with anyone. I got to catch up. Like, I have time to catch up, and I felt strong. It was day, and I was like, let's go. And we get to the top, and we kind of had talked to some of them, and another young lady, I forget her name, but she was kind of camped out. Her crew was camped out next to us, and she had a hard time coming out through pole. And by the time she got up to where we were at, she was just having all this doubt. And I was like, dude, you're doing awesome. Like, you are stronger than you know. You are powerful. You can accomplish this. Like, stop telling yourself that you can't. Like, just do it. And that was like the last thing I said. And right when I said that, I was like, all right, gotta go. And I freaking like bolt and I take off. And I'm cruising along pretty good. And every time I'd come up to another person, I would like, excuse me, is this the way to the belt buckle? They'd look at me like I was like crazy, because I was like, and they're like, yeah, and I was like, oh, woo, let's go, and I was just like taking off. But what was on repeat in my head was I was just kept saying hard work, dedication, and I kept saying that. I said that probably for about 2 hours, just to keep my pace going. Yeah. And that was the crazy shit that was just going into my head, and I was on repeat, just saying hard work, dedication, and yeah, got through there. And my buddy who I was with, Mark, we had started this journey together, and he had left Geyser about an hour and a half to 2 hours before me, I think, somewhere in there, I'm not sure. I caught up to him at Porcupine aid station. They had gotten there about 15 minutes before me.
Wow, what a time makeup, man.
Yeah,
between between Pole Canyon and Porcupine, you made up tons of time.
I did.
That's wild.
I did, and I got there, and I just was laughing because I didn't have any navigation. So my daughter, like, shout out to Amanda, dude, like my 16-year-old. Yeah. She's guiding me through the night, through the day, through the night, going into the finish, because I had no idea where I was at. But she's looking at the tracker, she's seeing where I'm at, she's sending me text messages. She's like, Dad, Mark and Jen are so far ahead of you, and you're at this pace right now. And then my wife would chime in, and she's like, tell him not to he's gonna hurt himself if he's going that fast, because I was cruising, dude. Like at that point I was cruising, and she's like, he's gonna hurt himself. I was like, I feel good. I'm gonna be fine. And I was like, I want to catch up. I got to make up some time. And at that point it was flat, a lot of roads, so I was like, we got to make up some time. And so when I got into the aid station, I remember walking up, and Jen and Mark are there, and Jen's his wife, and she turns around and she takes a double look. She's like, Thomas? And I was like, hey, what are you guys doing here? And she's like, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, I'm running this thing. It's called the Moab 2 party. And she's like, yeah, I know. And I was like, oh, that's so weird. She's like, we just got here. I was like, really? I was like, that's so weird. But I knew the whole time because I was trying to track them down. But it was so
way to keep it cool. I
was like, oh, I didn't know you were here. Like, oh,
way to keep it cool.
I'm always here. Yeah, this is where I hang out. But you gotta have fun, man. And like I was having a good time at that point, and I was exhausted, but like I was just enjoying myself at that point. The sunset that night was amazing, coming from Pole to Porcupine.
Oh yeah.
There was that comet or whatever was going on. Did you remember that? Did you hear that?
Was that night, or was it?
No, that was that night.
I saw it. So whatever night it was, I did see it. Because I remember being like, oh my gosh, like what is that? And then I didn't know it at the time what it was. But I remember seeing that, which is cool. Like super cool.
So tell me from when you left, what happened on your journey between Geyser and Porcupine?
Yeah, so Geyser to Porcupine, I wasn't moving quite, like I wasn't tracking people down necessarily like you were. So I wasn't, going into Goggins mode for the Thomas way. But I was moving really good. So it was feeling really good. And compared to the previous splits, I mean, I was moving well.
Yeah.
And so felt really good going into Porcupine. I could feel everything start to tighten though. You could tell like I've got like muscle memory right now. I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
stretching. I'm
Yeah,
stretching.
that's how I'm feeling right now. Like the
Yeah,
pack is
I'm
feeling
like
really heavy.
exactly. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so instead of sleeping, I actually got one of the medics to like give me a massage on my neck and my back to try to loosen things up. So spent like 10 or 15 minutes uh, on just like trying to work out some of the stuff that was going on with my back, and spent maybe 5 or 10 minutes getting some food, and then we were out of there. And so the massage, I don't know what would have happened if I didn't get it, because it was gone within, I don't know, maybe an hour into that, going from Porcupine to the finish. And then that's when things really just like sleep was gone, and everything just started to keep up with hallucinations and stuff. And so I was kudos to my pacer again. So this was Tony this time, and he was giving me updates by like tenth of a mile. And it's funny because you're talking about having fun. And I was just like, hey man, like we're gonna make it at this point. It might not be in the time or not, but I was like, you can give me updates every mile. Like that's fine too. Like, and you're leading the pace, so like if we need to pick up, you can just not say anything and just I'm keeping up with your shoes. Like I'm totally in your charge. And
Yeah.
so the people that do this unsupported and don't have pacers are just next level. Like if anybody looks at you and I and it's like, oh, you're insane. There is another level to this, and to be able to have that fitness and determination and clarity to be able to do this on your own is next level. I would not have made it without any of my pacers, but Tony especially in that segment. And even when we got off of Porcupine Rim, and the sunrise helped a ton. Like dark is just so rough, and that was probably one of the hardest nights I've ever experienced,
Yeah.
and was just able to keep moving. And he was really funny. So we never saw the sweepers. So even though I was last, we never saw them.
Yeah.
And Tony was looking at the tracker, and so he was like, okay. And I was like, dude, I'm hallucinating. Like, can I take a dirt nap? And he was like, okay, we can take a dirt nap. And so during my dirt nap, which I thought was going to be 10 minutes, he's looking at the thing and they're within a mile of us. And so he wakes me up after 3 minutes and is like, yeah, dude, we got to go. And didn't tell me that like the sweepers were coming.
Yeah.
And so he was just had that mindset, and we were just cruising.
Yeah. If you would have
But
taken
even
10 minutes, that was the 6 minutes. You would have not
yeah,
finished
I
in
wouldn't
that
have made
time.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. And when we got to the road, I knew that my body was moving well enough at that point that even with that's another like false thing. Like you get down off a porcupine finally, and then you're like, okay, cool. And there was something weird with
Yeah.
the mileage. Like it wasn't whatever they were putting in the documents like wasn't matching up. And so we thought we were within like 30 minutes, and then we find out that it's closer than that. And I literally had so much surrender at that point that Tony was frustrated. He was like, dude, we came all this way and we're so close. And like, are we really not going to pick up the pace a little bit? And I was like, we're doing great. Like, we're just going to keep on. Like, I just had it and was feeling good. And didn't even realize I was last until probably a mile and a half out. One of the Destination Trail media team came out and was like, hey,
Hey,
you're
could
in
you pick up the
last
pace?
place.
Because we want to go home.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like,
They
oh.
s- they sent me out to see if you're actually going to make it, and you're looking pretty good. Like your neck can't move, but like you've definitely got the ultra lean going on. But I think you're going to make it. And I was like, yeah, this is me right now. Like if you want something
Did,
different or something
did you
else.
did you have the tilts, man? Did you have the leans? Were you?
So you could see it. So my right knee was flaring up a little bit, and I think that's what was causing the lean. But my whole back and my neck was hunched,
I
that
saw when you came through, I could tell that there was something jacked up with your neck because you were kind of like,
yeah,
like trying to
that's
smile, like happy, but you're like all, I'm here,
exactly
I'm
exactly right.
here.
Yeah, even my I was laughing with the photographer after too, because my visualization of what I wanted to get was less about the belt buckle, and I love that Destination Trail does the before and after kind of
Yeah,
mugshot.
that was so rough.
And so my finisher mugshot, the photographer had to like dip down to get an angle because I couldn't lift my neck. And so I have
Oh
this like
shit, dude.
weird kind of jacked finisher photo, and it's on my phone. Like I'm the most happy because I just
It was
persevered.
a good picture, dude. It was a good
Yeah.
picture. It was like so. It made me so happy that you finished because we left. We left because we had to get out of our Airbnb by 10. So we
Okay.
left,
Yeah.
and so I didn't get to see you finish. And my daughters, when they got back, they told me who finished, and I was like, what? Wait, he finished? I was like, dude, I was like, oh, I'm so happy he finished. I was so excited for you, man. I was like, he's the reason I finished. Like he is the only reason I finished. I was like, so they're like, what? And it's just amazing, dude. So cool, so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. It was. I these are the types of situations and things like that that's so cool about these experiences is that I'll have that forever. Like it's a stack of proof for confidence, but it's also I'm obsessed with trying to do things that just don't blend in with the rest of life. And so there's so many highs and lows that I will carry with me from this experience that are either going to help me or bring a smile to my face or give me confidence in other parts of life. And so
A
it's
hundred
such a
percent.
wild experience. And then to be able to share it with people like you too is, we never would have crossed paths had we not done crazy stuff. And so what does it look like to even have this type of connection
Yeah.
and super flattered that I was able to be inspiration for someone else and what that looks like. And so cool to have you just, man, roadrunner the rest of the thing. Like that
You
sounds like what
never.
you did.
I think in life, I think you never know what a word of encouragement or just being nice or smiling to somebody or just helping people through a day. Like you don't know what people are going through. And it's
Yeah.
so funny because in the race, of course, you know what we're going through. We have our highs and lows, but there you can actually see the difference like that you made. Like I can tell you the moment it happened, how it happened, and the instances that got me to that end. And I can tell you that. But you don't know in your interactions with people on a daily basis, like just being positive, just being friendly, just whatever it is, like telling people that giving somebody a compliment. You don't know what your words, because words have power, words have meaning, and it's just like, the pacers, like you learn this through the race. Like, come on, man, you can do it. Come on, Tom. Come on, you can do it. Come on, you can push yourself. And or just a simple text message. It's like, we believe in you. Like
Yeah.
I didn't respond to text messages, but I was receiving them and I'd see them, and they meant like at certain points they meant so much to me. Like it's crazy that just words like it just
Yeah.
evokes an emotion or a generation. It generates power. Just something just to push you a little bit more, just a little bit more. And for you, you Tony lying to you and telling you that nobody was behind you and that you'd only taken a 3-minute nap, which maybe he told you, oh, dude, you had a 20-minute nap. You're good. Let's go.
Yeah. He,
You would have
he
known.
told me, yeah, it was the next day. I think we were on the flight home where he was like, yeah, dude, that was a 3-minute nap, not a, and I was like, oh, thanks. Okay, great.
Oh, so
And
this is funny. I was asking you your story because, like we get past the finish line, body starts shutting down, right? Like in you
okay.
were telling me the story about you at the airport and how you just finished this monumental. Like you're a beast, man. You just finished 240 miles, and then what happens at the airport?
I had to get wheelchair support. 'Cause I couldn't make it.
You're like, what happened to you? Don't
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah. And I have this lovely, probably 21-year-old girl who is half my size pushing me down. And Tony's carrying my bags and just the peak of physical performance for me. And then just totally same day, Salt Lake Airport. having to click that button when I check in of I think I need wheelchair support.
Did you had a chance to obviously get to the hotel, change, shower, and all that stuff?
Yeah, so
Because I
luckily,
would feel bad for all the people sitting next to you on the airplane.
yeah, I had a backup too. So luckily, I had one of my pacers lives in Salt Lake, and so we actually were able to spend the evening with him.
Okay, cool.
And again, we don't make good decisions. So we went from same day of the race. We caught the red eye back from Salt Lake, so we had to drive from Moab to Salt Lake, and then caught the red eye back to Virginia. And so just like very little rest. And Tony had to continue his pacing marathon uh, well throughout. So he paced 70 miles, then drove us back to Salt Lake, and then drove me home from the airport out here in Virginia too. Like just insane level of commitment and camaraderie. And so, you get people that are willing to do these crazy things alongside you, and uh, it's cool. It's great, and to see the value that they get out of it too is wild. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
no,
cool thing.
it is cool, man. I just laugh because so we like my dumbass, of course. I probably as you have figured out, I'm a planner. I just really plan things out so good.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
love like minute by minute of my life is just like, oh, I got to do this today and I got to do this. Yeah, yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
So my buddy during the training, he had a total plan that we're following, and I would just follow up with him. And he's like, "Hey, this is what we're doing." I said, "What are we running today?" And that was part of the training. So he'd tell me what the week was, and I'd go do it. Well, we get over, and per the spreadsheet, if we kept this pace and nothing else happened, we were going to be finishing per the spreadsheet somewhere between like 9 o'clock at night to like 2 o'clock in the morning. There was kind of a window, and it was like, okay, we're going to finish. I was like, cool. If we finish by 2, I get home back to the Airbnb, get a couple hours in, we can pack up, and then we're out. So no big deal. So didn't plan on finishing at 7:30 in the morning, having to get back to the Airbnb, pack everything up, take a shower, not thinking that I wouldn't be able to move at all, like at all,
Right.
or be help at all to anybody. And now we got to be out of the Airbnb, and they were on time, man. The cleaning crew showed up at 10 o'clock.
Wild.
They were
Okay.
ready to go.
Yeah.
And so everybody told my wife, because my wife's like, "Oh, we're leaving." They're like, "Oh, you can't leave. He's gonna need to have a day of rest, and so you should get a hotel room." So she listened to all of them, and she books a hotel room. Well, I get finished, and you know me, or you don't know me, but she knows me, and I was like, "No, we're going home. I'm not going to stay in a hotel. I can't even move. Like, why would I want to not move at a hotel room? I'd rather not move at my house." But without thinking, like my poor wife has been up all this time. Like she hasn't gotten any sleep either because she's going to aid stations. She's doing all this stuff, so she hasn't slept. And now I'm having her drive me home 6 hours or 7 hours, whatever it was, to go home. So because I didn't want to spend the night and be uncomfortable in a hotel. But she's awesome. She's amazing. So she did, and we get home and get out of the car for the first time. Like I didn't even get out of the car during the process. Like I had to go to the bathroom. We had to stop to pee. You get out and you're like, just pull over the side of the road. We're gonna do this. Like it was
So I'm just gonna lean.
yeah. It was not a good. Like it was not good. But it was. You have to do what you got to do. But so I get out of the car for the first time when we get home, and I realize that my body does not work. And I'm like walking in the house, and there's a video my daughter filmed me walking
Oh
in the house.
yeah.
And I was like, you get all the comments and people are like, "You're a beast, you're a beast." And I was like, yeah, beast mode, walking in, you can barely even walk in. It's like it hurts so bad. It's like I just want to sit down. But
Oh yeah.
but that was the same thing you were experiencing with the wheelchair. So that's awesome. Like I don't know if I wouldn't have been able to walk through. I would have been on the wheelchair too through an airport for sure. 100%.
Yeah. And I had some inkling, like my 100 miler that I did, and road running is the worst. Whoever does these ultras on the road, I did one in the Keys, and I was like, trail from now on, please. Like
It just beats you up,
it's so
man.
good. Yeah, and so
Pounding
the
on the
repetitive
pavement.
stress, exactly. And so my feet were worse after the Keys with 140 miles less than what I was experiencing after Moab. And so, but even with that experience, I still wasn't smart and like didn't plan ahead. And so it's like, okay. here we go. Wheelchair support. We're good, I guess.
We're a
So
beast. We're a
that's
beast.
it. That's it.
How
But
long did
it's
it take your
so,
neck? How long did it take your neck to get back to normal where you could actually move your head?
yeah. So actually felt really good that it didn't take a ton of time. So really after I showered and slept, so by noon, my
Oh wow.
neck was
Movable,
probably
huh?
80%
Yeah.
back to normal. And what I felt as I continued to rest, we were joking about this before we started the podcast, but resting is the worst. And so each day I could feel kind of the muscle tension get lower and lower in my back, which was good. I was like, ooh, I'm feeling some improvement. And what does that look like? And so finally it nagged long enough. I was telling you that I went to the chiropractor, but it's one of those things where we're getting old, and so getting dialed in enough to say, okay, this I don't have pain here or tightness here normally when I do this.
Yeah.
How can I listen? Do I need rest? And I'm sure that if I went to the doctor a couple days after, he's like, yeah, you're an idiot. And you just put your body through it and take some Tylenol and just go stay in bed today. Like that's what we're talking about. And so it's so crazy how the body can start to shift, and so grateful for the repetitive side of things to at least be in tune enough
Yeah.
to say, okay, is does this feel right? Does this not? Because I lived a good chunk of time with young kids and things like that where I was not the best example, and not that I'm a beacon of health and fitness at the moment, but I am pretty dialed in with like what my body can do and
Sure.
what that looks like. And so that felt really good to be able to put it to the test, but then also be able to listen on the back end when it's like, okay, good job, we accomplished something, we can rest a little bit, and now we're getting back after it, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. One of the things, I had these goals. Like, I'm like, okay, we're gonna finish the race. We'll get back. So on Thursday, so we finished on Wednesday. Thursday, I have a real estate company here in town, and Thursday we had our monthly sales meeting, and my goal was to be at the sales meeting, and so we get back, and that was one of the other things. I was like, dude, wait, I can't stay in Moab. I got a meeting tomorrow. She's like, you can zoom in. I'm like, we're not gonna zoom in. We're gonna be there. Like, I set this goal. This is what's happening. This is part of my goal plan.
Mhm.
And so I can't move. The next morning, I'm getting ready to go, and I get ready, and my wife's getting ready too, which I didn't understand. And I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm taking your dumbass to the meeting because I know if I let you go on your own, you're gonna go do these other things throughout the day, and you're gonna hurt yourself." So she actually took me to the meeting and brought me back. Like, I was under house arrest for
Oh man.
I was under house arrest until Monday, where she had to go to work, and I could actually leave and go back and do stuff, and I didn't tell her what I was doing. Like, we buy and sell houses too, and we flip houses, and
Yeah.
I happened to go pick up some flooring for one of the houses, so I had a pallet on the back of my trailer. And on Monday, I unload a pallet of flooring into the house, like limping back and forth into the house, back and forth. And I didn't tell her that she's going to hear about it now, but I didn't tell her about it at that time. She was like, "You're such an idiot." I was like, "Yeah, I am. I appreciate that."
That's a good woman you got there. That's a good woman.
Dude, she puts up with so much. Oh my God. I love her.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah, did you have a level of were you kind of depressed after it all? Did you feel like a lull?
Um, no, it's with the type of prep that I was doing and what this race meant to me. So there's this race was, I think, the culmination, and not that I had this insight several years ago, but I'd done a lot of values work and went through a divorce during COVID and some of those things. And so this was a test of self-investment versus self-sacrifice.
Okay.
And so the way that I did the training, the way that I split up time in my life and all this stuff was to kind of test the permission slip that I wanted to give myself to kind of lean into my values and what that would look like. And so the end of my training a couple weeks before, when I started to taper, like after my last big long run, that's when I actually felt the most accomplished. And so I actually felt weird going into the actual race itself because that was kind of the victory lap
Sure.
of the bigger thing for me. And so it really felt like Moab was a party, and afterwards I'm still feeling this sense of peace, and I haven't gone and signed up for something. There will be something. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm really excited to maybe go suck at something else. Like I don't think it's going to be the 300 mile or something like that. I think it's going to shift gears a little bit. Um, but there's not that there's the peace as opposed to, ooh, I need to automatically need to have another goal that is the equivalent or bigger to feel whole again. And there was times where I would chase races for sure to feel that because
Yeah,
it feels good having that motivation and that external validation of like, ooh, I'm working towards something.
sure.
And so this one just hit different, and so I'm actually feeling really good with where I'm at and what that looks like.
Yeah, no, that's awesome that you were able to do that. I felt the opposite. So I I was like depressed for like a week and a half, and then I signed up for a stupid race. Then I'm riding the bike on this dumb race, and I'm like, "You're such an idiot. Why are you out here?"
And that was like, didn't you sign up for that really short notice? Like there was
Yeah,
no inkling of that, and then it was like
yeah,
what after
yeah.
you
It was
unloaded your pallet of flooring, where you're just
so.
like, oh, I'll go ride a bike this weekend.
So that was Monday, unloading the pallet. Tuesday, my wife's off. We go grab lunch, run into a neighbor, tells us about this race, find out it's on Sunday, and I kind of got this like sparkle in my eye. And my wife's like, "No," and I was like, "Well, if I feel good by Friday, like I could do this." And I was like, I'm not going to take it off the table, but if I feel good by Friday, I think I could do this." And she's like, "I do not support you." She actually told everybody that it was an unsupported race. She did not support me. So Friday, I feel pretty good. Saturday, I feel a little bit better. They'd already cut out the cutoff, so I actually had to physically go to the race to sign up.
Okay.
And so I signed up on Saturday at 2:30 and went and filled up my bike tires Saturday after and got all my stuff. I hadn't been on this bike in 5 years, and my dumb ass signed up for a 100-mile bike race.
And you
But
finished,
I finished. I finished. I finished.
dude.
So
That's an awesome story. And again, you are when anybody some like when someone was like, oh, like how are you feeling in this stuff? And I was like, hey, I know someone who literally did this and then did a century on their bike within 2 weeks of this race. Insane. Insane. Such a
yes,
cool thing, man.
it's not smart. I always tell people I'm motivated. I'm not very smart though. I'm ambitious, not very smart about things sometimes. But that's the thing is like I think that's the message that I wanted to kind of share with people is like you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. And at the end of the day, I truly 100% believe that without a doubt. Like I could tell you story after story after story of these things. And I'm not going to say I'm the best. I'm not the fastest. My buddy Mark says I'm a hybrid athlete, a shit ass runner, and a mediocre weightlifter. And I was like, that is exactly what I am. I was like a shit
Nice.
ass runner and a mediocre lifter.
Yeah.
But with that said, I have a mindset. And that
Mm.
mindset, and I love the experience because I'm listening to a podcast right now with Elizabeth Flores. She was in the Moab with us, and we got to spend some miles together. And Kate was her pacer, and they're on a podcast. And on the way to this podcast, I was listening to them, and it's mindset. It's like you set your mind, you do what you say you're going to do, and you overcome the obstacles. You commit, and you figure it out as you go. And sometimes it's going to work out, and sometimes it's not. But most people I have found are afraid to make that initial commitment. And once you make the
Mm.
commitment, it's like you're going to go do it, right? And
Yeah.
I think you're probably the same way. When you say you're going to go do something, it's a done deal. I'm going to go do it. I may not want to do it now. It may not feel fun, but it's like I've committed. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the power. If people can harness that power, they can accomplish so many things in their life. And that is, why we started this podcast is to talk to people just like yourself and find people that just, we're, before this, you said 10 years ago, it's not like you've been an athlete your entire life and you've been training for this. It's like 10 years ago you started doing something and you did something else and you built confidence on that thing and you built some more confidence and you built some more confidence. And before you knew it, you're like, hey, maybe I could do 240 miles. That's not out of the norm. Like, let's go see if we can try this. And it's like, now you did it. Now, like, it's a level in a video game, right? Like that next level. Now you're like, dude, I could go sign up for another 200-mile race. And it's not going to necessarily be fun. You know the pain you're going to go through, but I can suffer through this enough and I can get to the other side if I need to, right?
Yeah. And it's funny because there's moments like this throughout the event too that are great confidence builders, but we just got to start. And so it started with the first probably quarter or half mile when I was 2013 and out of shape and needed to do something. And even during the race, it was, after each aid station, you just got to start, or after each dirt nap, you just got to start.
You gotta pick it up and go.
Things start to improve and things shift and things like that too. And I think there's something beautiful about exploring, letting go of some limiting beliefs around. And for those who are listening online, I am not the epitome of a runner, like at all. I went into the race like 235 pounds. This was probably the closest to a race where I saw people that were like me as far as like physics. Like there's some big dudes out there.
Yeah.
But if you saw me on the street, you're like, this guy isn't a runner, and sure as hell isn't an ultra athlete. And that's what I love about it. It's like, hey, I could tell myself the story that I don't fit, but the truth is, because of the mindset, because of the determination, I belong in this sport. And there's so much that's on the other side of just beginning. And it really can be that easy. And so if you're afraid of something, or you've been telling yourself a story and there's something that you want to do, I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, I'm really excited about a half. I'm like, sign up for a full. I skipped the full marathon. I went from half to ultra and pride myself on still not running just a marathon. I mean, I did that in like part of training, but like I've never signed up for a marathon race.
Dude.
And I love that.
Exactly the same. Exactly the same.
And so you're capable. Now, could I run it the same pace that I did a 5K? No. And that's where I think people get tripped up, and what expectations do they have, or this perfectionism. And this type of pursuit, endurance, anything, just builds a level of grit and confidence that's just so wild. And so I hope that someone finds something that is that pushes you on a consistent basis, and it gives you the confidence to be able to take on new things and to just start. Like every morning is a gift, and what are we going to do with that? And so I want to have more things than stand out, and doing cool shit like this is part of that. And so I see it in you, and I hope that other people can just start. And it doesn't have to be 240. Like, I didn't go from 0 to 240 overnight. It's just get out there and just start.
That's amazing, and we're probably going to leave it right there, because the message has always been starting. Like, just start starting. Like, you know what? You don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be great. Like, just start doing it. Go for a walk. Eventually you can, run a little bit, walk a little bit more, and just, the idea is just like, stop, just know that you are capable. Know that you have power inside of you to do anything that you put your mind to. And if that's something you want to do, even if you're overweight, like, you can start, and you have a starting point. Like, it's not over. Like, you have life today. Like, make the most of it. Like, you have this ability to change who you are. It's not, you're not a tree. You can't, you could do anything. Like, you could change. So starting, believe in yourself. Don't quit. Don't give up. And take some people with you, because it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun just becoming friends with people that you just randomly just run into on a torturous mountain, 200 miles into Moab. It's like that's how life is, and it's awesome. So, dude, I thank you so much for sharing your time today and your story, and I appreciate you so much. More than you'll ever know is just the inspiration, the encouragement, just the kindness that you shared to get me to that point where I was able to finish this thing and come along the journey. And it's just been an amazing ride. So I do appreciate your time and your friendship, and hopefully that we'll share many more stories over the next years for sure.
Yeah, man. Likewise. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thanks, man. Well, that's gonna do it, guys. That's it. That was an incredible story, and I hope that you guys take away from this thing is that you can accomplish anything, and that's really it. But you got to start, and you got to start, and you got to be inspired every day to just go a little bit farther, just get a little bit better, just do a little bit more, and you don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to go for a 240-mile race run. You just go to the walk at the end of the street, go to the stop sign. And that's exactly where I started. Many years ago, I ran to the end of the stop sign. My first run was just to the end. And then it went from there. But at the end of the day, it's like, just don't give up. Start believing in yourself. And these little wins create bigger, better wins. And you start getting more belief in yourself and confidence, and things start happening. So just starting. That's what Ultra Everything is about, bringing to you amazing stories of amazing feats of what people can accomplish. And we hope that you share this video with everyone, share this content, and hopefully it has inspired you to do something a little bit better. So thank you for your time, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, guys, I am talking to you specifically. If you are someone that is doing things to the ultra level, I want to talk to you. If you know of somebody that's doing things to the ultra level, I want to talk to them. So comment below, tag them on here, give us a call, hit us up on social media, DM us, whatever you got to do to get your information to us, because we want to talk to you, because we are interested in definitely learning more about what you're doing in your community and the people that you inspire around you. So definitely ultra up and give us a call.